This week 5 years ago, the entire world cried out at the loss of our most beloved princess.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
This is going to be a rough one. Welcome to A Tough Act to Follow. I'm Preston, aka the Ploominator, and I will be your noble Jedi Knight here to guide your journey as we pay tribute to our sovereign galactic ruler and all she represented for us. There are a lot of treasured movie stars that we lost in 2016, and while some of them resonate more than others, it's hard not to mention our princess and all she represented, because you'd be surprised to know that there's far more than just science fiction royalty to Carrie Fisher. So join me as we collectively spend some time celebrating the life, legacy, and impact of Carrie Fisher, who deserves all the reverence and love that we've shown to her, because whether you only knew her from Star Wars, or her legacy as a seasoned script doctor, or even just love the personality that she exuded in her personal image, you have to admit that Carrie Fisher is most certainly a tough act to follow.
What? Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerve herder!
First and foremost, we have to talk about Carrie's intelligence. She is wicked smart, and it showed up both on and off screen. From her talented sense of humor to her incredible work as a script doctor on several well-known scripts, Wedding Singer, Hook, Last Action Hero, Sister Act, and yes, even parts of Star Wars. And when you put all that talent and intelligence on screen, it shows up in the form of humor and really allows her to shine in comedic roles no matter how big or how small.
Hello. I'm sorry to call so early.
Are you all right?
No one I know would call at this hour.
I did something terrible.
What did you do?
No one I know would call at this
It's
hour.
so awful.
I need to talk.
What happened?
What's the matter?
Harry came over last
I
night.
went over to Sally's last night.
Because I was upset that Joe was getting married.
And one thing led to another.
And before I knew it, we were kissing.
To make
and
a long
then
story short,
we did it.
They did it.
That's great, Sally.
We've been praying for
We
it.
should have done it in the first place.
For months we've been saying you should do it.
You guys belong together.
It's like
And not only does that intelligence give her power in comedy, but it also allows her to connect on a strong level with the others in the scene. She knows how to play the scene in just a way that never takes too much control or goes beyond the scope of the movie. It allows her to take that control at just the right time and then let go of that control when she needs to without getting shoved completely into the background.
Oh, I agree. Restaurants are to people in the 80s what theater was to people in the 60s. I read that in a magazine.
I wrote that.
Get out of here.
No, I did. I wrote that.
I've never quoted anything from a magazine in my life. That's amazing. Don't you think that's amazing? And you wrote it?
I also wrote Pesto is the quiche for the 80s.
Get over yourself.
I did.
Where did I read that?
New York Magazine.
Sally writes for New York Magazine.
But intelligence isn't the only thing that makes Carrie brilliant. She also has some of the best non-verbal reactions out there. Carrie can say more with her face than most actors can with pages of dialogue, and she delivers so many subtle reactions that help add to the character that she's creating.
Nice place, huh?
And by taking her time and not speaking until she has to, it allows her delivery to be more phenomenal as a result. There are moments within the dialogue that are so much better because Carrie has built an intriguing character with this sense of mystery. And that makes us so completely attached to that character that we just want to hear everything that they have to say, so when they finally do speak, we are here for every word.
Good to see you, sweetheart.
You contemptible pig. I remained celibate for you. I stood at the back of a cathedral, waiting in celibacy for you, with 300 friends and relatives in attendance. My uncle hired the best Romanian caterers in the state. To obtain the 7 limousines for the wedding party, my father used up his last favors with Mad Pete Trullo.
And this all works because Carrie is just so damn charming. She's got this infectious personality and it's really hard to look away from her when she's on screen. Not only that, but she's able to use that to connect with her co-stars, and that helps keep both us and them intrigued by her performances because there is just this charisma that cannot be denied.
Why are you laughing?
You're shining.
They sparkles.
My God!
Why are you laughing?
Can you see without your glasses?
Why?
Can you?
No.
My God, you look just like a movie star.
And not only is she charming and charismatic in the upbeat moments, she's also really good at keeping that connection when she's intimidated or threatened. Even when she's really scared or she's turned away from her co-stars, we still somehow long to see what she's going to do and keep our eyes glued to her when she's on screen.
Leave me alone. Can't you see I'm trying to finish this carving?
You're lost to the devil himself, Jessica White.
I'll fucking blind you. Then take out your fucking tongue. If you don't shut your maggoty mouth.
And Carrie does this in every movie with every role. She's got this great character work that she does that makes whatever role she occupies that much better, and it helps the roles, which could often be forgettable, become far more interesting. We've seen dozens of actresses play dozens of suburban housewives, but when Carrie does the very same kind of role, it just feels more interesting because of what she does with it.
Nice. Very, very nice.
So let me get this straight. The Klopeks are offering up Walter as a sort of human sacrifice to Beelzebub, is that it?
That's one of the theories, yeah.
Great. So, this is your relaxing week at home, huh? Oh, I wouldn't have missed this for the world. Week in Jonestown.
Where are you going?
The bathroom.
And this is because Carrie doesn't let the role define her, she lets herself define the role. She makes the role far more than it would have been otherwise because she does all this unseen work and it breaks out of that stereotype and becomes a real and interesting person. And it helps make the characters so much better because they're becoming fully developed rather than becoming forgettable and one note.
Time we all stopped acting like kindergartners. Don't you, Ray?
Yes, Carol.
Now, before somebody falls off a roof or sets themselves on fire, I think we should go over there, knock on their door, and invite ourselves in for a nice neighborly chat. Get to know these people like we should have done a month ago.
That's a good idea. And I'll make brownies.
That's a great idea, and while you keep them busy, I'll...
You're not invited.
And then we have to get to the biggest thing that Carrie does well. Above all else, she's tough as nails. She is a step into the room by kicking the door down kind of actress, and it was clear from the very beginning that she was going to be someone sensational. She's strong, dedicated, and incredibly fierce, and it makes it possible for her to hold her own against even the most dominant of personalities.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Probably don't.
And what precisely am I supposed to know?
Come on. You want me to stay because of the way you feel about me?
Yes, you're a great help to us. You're a natural leader.
No, that's not it. Come on. Come on.
You're imagining things.
Am I? Then why are you following me? Afraid I was gonna leave without giving you a goodbye kiss?
I just assumed it's a Wookiee.
I can arrange that. You could use a good kiss.
But through it all, the vulnerabilities of those characters are still there. Carrie has such a talent for not saying what she wants to and then playing the roles in a way that seems counter to her character's goals. But when you actually look at the subtext of the role, those layers of her character that are beneath the surface, she's resisting strong feelings and fighting an internal conflict that comes through brilliantly.
It's finished. 2 or 3 more things and we're in great shape.
The sooner the better. Something's wrong here. No one has seen or knows anything about Threepwood. He's been gone too long to have gotten lost.
Relax. I'll talk to Lando, see what I can find out.
I don't trust Lando.
Well, I don't trust him either. But he is my friend. Besides, he'll soon be gone.
And then you're as good as gone, aren't you?
And all of this makes Carrie a legacy of her own design. No matter how many times we look to recreate that sense of magic, we unfortunately can never find it again. There is so much that Carrie Fisher left for us to cherish, and it really shows in her work. So why do we like Carrie Fisher? 1. Carrie is intelligent. The work that Carrie does showcases her quick wit and her highly intelligent understanding of the world around her. Her characters are constantly showcasing smart choices and well thought out intentions. 2. Carrie is expressive. Carrie has such a powerful ability to use her face to convey her thinking. Even before she speaks, we can see what she is processing and where that thinking is taking her character. 3. Carrie is charismatic. Carrie has a charm to her that cannot be truly described. It makes her roles compelling and allows them to hold our attention from the very first scene to the very last scene. 4. Carrie makes the mundane interesting. Carrie takes roles which could be very basic and stereotypical and makes them so much more interesting through her character choices. In doing so, Carrie makes her work irreplaceable as a result. 5. Carrie is fierce. There is a fight in Carrie that just can't be duplicated. She takes on anyone and everyone in a way that helps make the role tough and dynamic, and then she adds an internal conflict which allows her strength of character and vulnerability to come through, even when she's completely alone. Carrie Fisher is one of a kind. She's the kind of unforgettable personality who just cannot be forgotten or overlooked. And her legacy speaks for itself, but there are some highlights to look for. And so allow us to celebrate the life and legacy of Carrie Fisher with some of her most remarkable roles. These are my 5 essential Carrie Fisher performances. 1. When Harry Met Sally. Not only is Carrie just so dynamic in this role, but the rest of the cast only matches her energy and makes the whole result fantastic. Plus, the movie has several of the greatest laugh-out-loud moments in romantic comedy history. 2. The Blues Brothers. One of the best movies to ever come out of Saturday Night Live. Carrie's role in this is short but dynamic, and it makes for some very great contradictory moments with hilarious results. 3. White Lightning. This absurdist look at morality and life based vaguely on the life of real-life Appalachian mountain dancer Jessica White is not for everyone. But it shows that Carrie's later career still has that same charisma that first endeared us to her, and the very first moments that we saw her were no fluke. 4. The Burbs. This dark comedy is a lot of fun and very quirky. Carrie gets to play the grounded, rational center of the movie, and her chemistry with the end of his rope neurotic Tom Hanks just makes for some amazing comedic moments. 5. Star Wars. And I mean each and every moment that she's in the Star Wars movies. Carrie made herself a legacy and cemented herself as an icon we know and love from these films. From her earliest moments, she showed strength and power that was balanced with sensitivity and vulnerability that made each performance timeless and Carrie irreplaceable. She will forever be our princess. And that is why Carrie Fisher is a tough act to follow.